Hey everybody, I'm back with a follow-up video for the Corsair LL120 and 140 fan setup in my computer. I didn't go into detail on the actual setup in my computer. I just wanted to show how they connect outside so that everyone got a good clear view of that. But this time I'm going to bring you the light strips to finish off this lighting setup in this computer. This particular setup comes with the Lighting Node Pro as well. I don't need that one, so I'm not going to use the one in this box. I'm just going to use the one that's in my computer and just fill everything out and show you guys the finished product. Here we have the Node Pro with this package that I bought. It had the Node Pro with it. It was only I think it was like 10 bucks more than just getting just the light strips. So I had the Node Pro already in my computer, but I wanted to get this one extra so I could build another system with RGB down the road. So, and $10 more to get the Node Pro, it's not bad. So, as you can see, we have the light strips. I've got them set up, 2 on each of the channels. There's 2 channels on this. And like I mentioned in the other video, and showed you guys that you can actually use one or both channels to do up to 6 fans each, or the light strips as I have here in front of you guys. The kit comes with 4, and instead of just laying them all out one after the other, I decided to just do it so that there was 2 on each channel. And you can see here that each of these, it's a simple clip-in, and they just daisy chain one after the other. And if I wanted to put the other 2 on this one channel and have 4 more for this other channel, I could do that easily by adding more. So what this comes with is 4 of these connectors, these extensions. These are obviously great for routing around your case, and probably a must depending on how big your case is. Another thing it comes with is our USB 2 header for the motherboard to a mini USB connection that goes into the back of the Node Pro. The other connection is Node Pro to serial ATA power. And then lastly, a cable that my pack of fans should have come with, but I had to jerry-rig it with a cable from a remote control airplane setup, is this 3-pin to 3-pin. This goes into, well, it's supposed to go from one of these channels to a hub, and that's how you're supposed to connect the fans up. So yeah, it came with it, so that's great. So those are the 3 main cables that comes with. But what if you only have that one USB 2 header on your motherboard and it's being used for the front USB on your case? Well, you can either get a USB hub, one that NZXT makes. It basically splits it from 1 into, I think it's like 3, and then there's some regular USB connections as well. That's a $24 cost, or you can just get yourself a USB A to Mini B, and that's what I did on my computer with the first Node Pro, so that I didn't have to unplug that and not have front USB ports. So that can route through and outside your case. Mine's a little easier with the NZXT S340 Elite because it has a pass-through for an HDMI cable that plugs into the front for VR goggles. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to light these things up, show you exactly what they look like. And by default, because they're not plugged into the computer and using the iCUE software right now, they go through a default rainbow effect. When I plug it into the computer, you should see on my iCUE software what that will look like when we have it set to a different effect. So I'm just going to use that USB mini to USB-A plug and just put it into my USB hub here. I'm going to switch over to my computer so I can show you guys just a little bit on the iCUE software. There's a lot more videos out there that are much more in depth, so mine's just a quick look and just so you can see what it looks like, and then I'll move over to opening up the back of the case and showing you guys what the actual install looks like. Hey guys, so like I said, this is going to be quick, not in-depth at all. So you can see the things that I have within iCUE. These are my Corsair products. You can see that I've got the RGB, Strafe RGB keyboard, Void Pro USB headset, Vengeance RGB RAM, and the Lightning Node Pro. So here we're on our profiles. When you open up iCUE for the first time, you've got a default profile, and you can see in the video down in the bottom right that the default profile is a rainbow effect. So in the left hand side there on iCUE, that's all the profiles that I've created. You can also import profiles as well from places online. This happens to be the lightning profile. Well, actually, I called it lightning. It's actually called rain. It kind of looked more like lightning to me. We've got I created a purple one, so everything's purple inside. And then I also created other ones as well, including a dark one where everything goes dark except for my all-in-one cooler, which is from a different manufacturer. Under the dashboard, you can see what things are being detected, like my processor, the memory, the motherboard, and then if we move on to the lighting, instant lighting, it just changes things, everything basically, to a different color. And I'm just going to cycle through those colors here, as you see. And then the last thing I'll show you after I go through the colors will be the settings heading or tab, if you will. And that gives us information on like the actual, let's say, take the Strafe RGB keyboard, polling rate, firmware. You can actually update the firmware if there's actually something there. And you can do that for each of the devices that actually has that. So the headset and the Lightning Node will do that as well. So if you can click on each one of the devices in iCUE, and you can see when you click on an effect, what it does to your actual device. So showing it both in iCUE and down below or on the video. It also will change the effect, obviously, for anything that has an addressable RGB or addressable RGB lighting. In the headset, you can see you got mic volume in there. And then, of course, in your RAM, there's not these particular RAM sticks, like I've mentioned before, they're not fully addressable as far as multiple LEDs in there. So going on to the Lightning Node Pro, you can see that on the channel 1, I've got the fans. Actually, I guess, what am I showing right now? I'm just showing, creating a new profile and just showing what it looks like. So you press the plus button there, it instantly creates a rainbow effect on the first one. So you've got predefined, custom, and lighting link. Lighting link basically will turn every LED that's addressable to whatever that particular effect is. So visor effect, if everything supports it, it will do it. Right now it looks like just the fans are supporting the visor effect. So the light strips do nothing when that happens. But if you go to rain, that changes it. Everything is supported except for the RAM. Type lighting, that's when you tap your keyboard, it will light up underneath your fingers. And of course, static color, that's an easy one. Single color for everything, which is kind of like the same as going up to the instant lighting. You can change the opacity,
which brightens it up or makes it dull. And of course, you've got the different effects under predefined. The Pong effect, or what I like to call the Knight Rider effect, or the Battlestar Galactica Cylon effect. And then of course on channel 2 I have the light strips, and you can see what happens when I go to different effects on the light strips by themselves. Sequential goes in line, you can see that in iCUE there, and of course it shows you in the video as well. Now I'm going to finally move on to what you've all been waiting for, and that's how things are connected at the back of the computer. So here we go.
Okay guys, here is the back. I know it's a bit of a mess, but once it's closed up, it's not that bad. You can't see any of the stuff in the front, but I just wanted to show you guys the connection. This is how I put the hub and the Lighting Node Pro in, and just the connections that go from each device. So the fans coming in from the top area over there and over here, and then there's that little hub that I have, fan hub. Let's see if it's going to show up properly here. Let's see. Putting some light on there. There, now you guys can see that fan hub that I'm using that came with my all-in-one cooler. And this it's pretty tight for space in here, especially when you've got a 1300 watt power supply in there. It was a good deal. I know, a bit overkill for what I've got, but anyway, that's what it looks like. And then you can see here with this USB cable, I didn't use the one, like I said before, I didn't use the one that comes with it because I only have the one header on my motherboard. And then all I did was, because the S340 Elite has that little pass-through back here to go out for HDMI coming from the top. You can see there's the HDMI for your VR glasses. You can actually have, it's just the pass-through. There's a cable that actually comes with it. I got it tied up, I think, somewhere in there. And you put it through there and you attach it to your video card's HDMI cable, so it makes it easier for running your VR glasses.